It's been almost 1 year since the 2020 NFL Draft took place, and we have a relatively good idea about which players are good and which ones not so much. So today, we are redrafting the entire first round of last year's event. If you like this video, consider subscribing, it's free and that way you won't miss out on the next one. Anyways, the Jaguars selected Trevon Walker first overall, but this time around they go for Sauce Gardner. The former Cincinnati player was one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL despite only being a rookie. In my opinion, Sauce is the only option for the Jaguars in a redraft. At number 2, the Lions stick with Aiden Hutchinson. He had a good season, and if it wasn't for Sauce, I think he could have been the defensive rookie of the year. His potential is insane, so there's no need to change the pick here. Moving on, the Texans take Tariq Woolen instead of Derek Stingley Jr. I'm not saying Stingley isn't good, but Woolen was much better this past season. The Texans would be getting a stud who in real life wasn't even selected day 1. With the 4th pick, the Jets get Garrett Wilson. Originally, they used this pick to get Sauce, but he's off the board in this redraft. So instead, they go for Wilson, who they also picked up in real life, but at number 10. At number 5, the Giants take Drake London instead of Kayvon Thibodeaux. One of New York's biggest weaknesses this season was wide receiver, and London was amazing in Atlanta despite not having a quarterback. If the Giants were to change their pick, this is the way to go. Moving on, the Panthers stick with Ikem Ekwonu. Honestly, I don't think there's any player available they would rather have right here. Ekwonu showed flashes of potential, and O-line was a huge need for Carolina. With the 7th overall pick, the Giants then take Kayvon Thibodeaux. Instead of getting him at number 5, they get him at 7. But in this scenario, they got Drake London instead of Evan Neal. So I feel this would have been an absolute win for New York. At number 8, the Falcons get Chris Olave. Drake London isn't on the board this time around, so Atlanta gets instead another good wide receiver who could actually end up being better than London in the long run. Moving on, the Seahawks stick with Charles Cross. They nailed this pick, and with the top talent gone by now, they really can't get any better. Selecting Cross once again seems like the only move to make here. With the 10th pick, the Jets take Derek Stingley. In this redraft, they didn't get Sauce and Wilson, but instead they got Stingley as a sort of consolation prize. He was still good, and we're yet to see what he is truly capable of. At number 11, the Saints get George Pickens. He is arguably the most talented wide receiver of the class, so if the other good wide receivers are off the board, Pickens would have been a dream come true for New Orleans here. Up next, the Lions select Trent McDuffie instead of Jameson Williams. McDuffie was a solid corner for the Chiefs, and I really had to change the pick for Detroit here, since Williams didn't even play for the first weeks of the season. At number 13, the Eagles are going to pick Jordan Davis once again. They should keep the D-line intact, so in a redraft, I'm confident they would go for Davis once again without really having any hesitation. The Ravens come up next, and they are also sticking with their pick. Kyle Hamilton started the season out slow, but was one of the best safeties in the game towards the end of it. There's no way for Baltimore to improve this pick, so Hamilton it is. Moving on, the Texans select Jaquan Brisker. They needed a safety, which is why they took one in round 2 of the actual draft, but with the top safeties playing great, making the call in the first round seems like a good option. At number 16, the Commanders select Braxton Jones. In real life, he was an amazing player for the Chicago Bears and one of the best rookies of last year despite being taken round 5. He would have helped this O-line quite a lot. The Chargers then select Jamari Salyer instead of Zion Johnson. I have them picking O-line here just as in real life. However, thus far it seems like 5th rounder Jamari has been better than round 1 Johnson. Moving on, the Titans stick with Treylon Burks. He didn't have as flashy of a season as some other rookie wide receivers, but he wasn't bad either. He fits in well in this system, and I really don't know who could replace him in a redraft. At number 19, the Saints go for Kenny Pickett. They grabbed a lethal George Pickens, so now they solve their quarterback situation by going for yet another Pittsburgh Steeler who showed some signs of promise in 2022. With the 20th pick, the Steelers go for Brock Purdy. Purdy is the best quarterback available, and honestly, I think he could actually fit quite well with the Steelers scheme, but I guess we won't be able to see it in real life. Moving on, the Chiefs snagged Trevon Walker. He wasn't that bad with the Jaguars, but he wasn't even near first overall pick production. Still, I think the Chiefs would still take him at 21 since he has some insane potential. At number 22, the Packers go for Christian Watson. With wide receivers going early in this redraft, I have Green Bay getting one that they actually got in real life just a few picks sooner. This because I don't think he would fall in round 2 in this scenario. The Bills then get Kenneth Walker. He showcased some insane talent over in Seattle, and had he not gotten injured, he could have easily won Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Bills' 2022 season could have looked a lot different if they had Walker on the squad. At number 24, the Cowboys pick Tyler Smith, just as in real life. 1 year ago, most people were saying this pick didn't even make sense. However, after last season, I think there's enough evidence to say it was a very solid pickup for Dallas. Moving on, the Ravens select Tyler Linderbaum, and with this, Baltimore has the exact same picks in this redraft as they got in real life. Linderbaum was pretty good, so I don't think there's any reason to change this pick. At number 26, the New York Jets select George Karlaftis. The current KC edge rusher exceeded expectations in his rookie season, and even though he's in a top 20 pick in this redraft, he does have the talent to be one of the best players out of the class, and the Jets would have loved a guy like him. Moving on, the Jaguars select Malcolm Rodriguez. The current Lions player could make a case as the best rookie linebacker of the class. The Jaguars could have used someone like him at the position, and actually, I feel he could fit in this defensive scheme. At number 28, the Packers go for Jalen Petre. They took Davonte Wyatt originally, but this time around, I have them taking the current Texans safety, who has the potential to eventually become one of the best ones in the entire league. The Patriots then select Jahan Dotson instead of Colt Strange. Strange was always a doubtful pick, and this time around, I have them taking a good wide receiver to help Mac Jones out. Dotson was solid in Washington, and the need for a receiver is still there for New England. At number 30, the Chiefs go for Jack Jones. The current Patriot cornerback was one of the biggest steals of last year's draft. Just imagine what the Chiefs would have done by drafting him 30th overall. Moving on, the Bengals snapped Kirby Joseph. The Lions safety was pretty solid, and I think in a redraft, he could easily go round 1. Fast forward 1 year, and Bengals lost both of their safeties, so this would have been a great pick. And finally, the Minnesota Vikings draft Quay Walker. He has been good for the Packers, so this time around, I have their divisional rivals Vikings getting him instead of Louis Sain, who they actually got at number 32 last year. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, and if you want some exclusive and amazing perks, make sure to join my channel. Regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.